Welcome, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show coming out of Studio 44. It's September 20th, 2021. And there's a lot of football to get to, but before we do that, how's everybody's weekend? Producer James in the building. Wes out there in the hills of North Texas. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing a lot better than last week, man. You know, feeling good, breathing good, you know, ready to get back on that my routine. So feeling great.
For sure, for sure. Producer James is in the building. What's going on, Producer James?
Not much.
You good?
Just, yeah, hoping the Packers pull out that.
You keeping a close eye on that Monday Night Football?
Yeah, hoping they pull out that dub.
What's the score right now?
I think it's still 21 or no.
21.
No, 14-7, I believe.
14-7 still.
Yeah.
Okay, you had me a little concerned there for that matchup. I'm trying to kind of have it on in the background just so we can kind of keep tabs on it. Big weekend for the Dallas Cowboys. They showed me something. They showed me one. I think that we can probably confirm Mike McCarthy is horrible in situational football, and Zerline had a little bit of redemption this past weekend for the big errors that he had last weekend. I'm really concerned for Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore's play calling and as well as Mike McCarthy's football situation. And then he had the audacity to potentially lie in his press conference about he was in a $5 billion stadium with brand new cameras that have the ability to show you the infinity screen, as they call it in Los Angeles. Apparently his clock went down, and then he implicates Kellen Moore, saying Kellen Moore's clock was blocked by a camera in a $5 billion statement. I don't know about y'all, but you know, I've worked with some people, and when people start to tell lies, they get pretty damn specific. For me, I'm not buying that bullshit that he's selling, Mike McCarthy's selling about a clock went down in a $5 billion stadium in its second year in existence, and then Kellen Moore's clock getting blocked by a camera. Wes, are you buying that nonsense?
Winning the game saves a lot of things.
Winning makes everything fun and easy. Yes, it does. But at the same time, like, how do we know he was going to make a 56-yard kick?
What the is going on? Like, what are y'all doing? Why? I don't give a damn if the clock is off. You should be yelling at the ring. We got this much time. Why is the clock off? You should be yelling at somebody instead of just saying, "Oh well, the clock went off, so we didn't know how much time we had left." Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty ridiculous. Just to be honest, I really couldn't have any other words for how to describe it, but I just thought it was just like, dude, that's just nonsense. You're just bullshit. Nobody's gonna buy that. Luckily, y'all won, because if y'all had not won and he tried to come up here with that in the press conference, it ain't happening. I was still a little concerned. I wasn't sure if Dak Prescott was going to be able to lead the team down. And what really bothered me a lot was, why is the mindset of the Cowboys, or maybe Kellen Moore, or I don't think it's Dak, I think it's more Kellen based on the play calling. Why is the goal to go get a field goal rather than go get a touchdown? Shouldn't the Cowboys be practicing game-winning drives for 6 points compared to the 3 points? It's like, you go work for 6, but if you don't get to 6, you know you got 3, even though you're only down by 2 points, 1 point. It just makes more sense, doesn't it?
It's
or something wrong there.
They don't have the gonads to go get 6 a lot of times. They're playing for, hey, let's not lose this field goal. If we get the field goal, then we're good. That's the difference of great teams. When great teams get turnovers, they get 6 points.
Great
Cowboys
teams
right now, when the Cowboys get turnovers, they're getting field goals. So they're not a great team. So to become a great team, you got to turn those turnovers into 6 points.
Great teams practice situational football. And that is not what Mike McCarthy's good at. He needs to get better at that, or he needs to bring in a coach or some kind of former personnel person to come in and say, look, how do we handle situational football to our advantage? What do we need to do differently so that we can be successful in a time crunch? Like last night, Patrick Mahomes was left 3 minutes plus to go get 6. They turned the ball over. If they don't turn the ball over, Kansas City wins that game. Last week, Dallas is up by 2 points and Tom Brady's left a minute 20 plus to go win the game with the touchdown or with the field goal. And they get that done. Dallas, for some reason, like, I didn't have the confidence Dak was going to be able to do that yesterday. He did it. I learned something about Dak, but we really need to get, I think we really need to get more play or more value out of our coaching staff, because that seems to still be the little bit of the hiccup. It's like our coaches are just good enough to let the really talented players go win the game. It's like if the players weren't that great, the coaches would be more horrible than they really are. And of course, we don't have anybody to thank for that except for Jerry Jones. And so, what other big things? What did you think of Micah Parsons last night? I really want to know that from you. Like, Micah was playing D end, Gregory and Lawrence were out. Did he look better at D end or at linebacker from yesterday?
I think the kid's a playmaker, so I don't think it matters where you put him. I think he looked really good at D end, especially when you're asking a rookie his second game of his career in the NFL to go play D end in the NFL and to do what he did. I mean,
Wes,
shit. I don't know if the veterans can do.
Wes, he never even played that position. He was learning the position this week, and then he was the difference maker in that game.
The veterans that did what that kid did last night,
and he was getting held every single time he rushed inside. Every time he rushed inside, he was getting held, and these scumbag zebras would not call the penalty when it needed to be called. I'm sorry. We're going to call holding. I'm sorry. We're going to call illegal procedure when the Chargers throw a touchdown to potentially win the game. We're going to call that back.
The refereeing it with last night was pretty bad. I mean, going both ways.
Yeah.
I don't understand the play where they said he was in the grass or whatever. And
with Micah?
I didn't understand that one at all. I mean, of course, we'll take it.
Sure. Cowboys don't get those calls.
Anything that comes our way. But, I mean, dude, these refs this year have been – they've been throwing a lot – it seems like it's been a lot of penalties. It seems like it's a lot of flags.
Week 2 seemed like there were much more penalties, which slowed the game on a lot more. And maybe it was like, I mean, there was even a taunting call in there. They called taunting against, what's his name, 13 for the Chargers. Nobody knows. Okay, yeah. So 13 for the Chargers.
Yeah, he got the taunting call
right
on a touchdown that they called back. So I was like, well, if you're calling the touchdown back, shouldn't you take away the taunting call?
So they did. So what happens was there was another penalty before the touchdown, and so they had to they had to run it back again. So it's like the touchdown never occurred due to the penalty. But I don't know, man. There was to me the game slowed down a lot more in week 2 than week 1, and I'm not quite sure. Like, why do the officials' bias have to be put into play? Like, why do they allow themselves to feed into that? All these officiating teams, they have tendencies. They have tendencies so bad that Las Vegas is going to make their recommendation, or they're going to make their lines based off what game's being played between the two teams and then who's going to be officiating them. If Vegas is taking into consideration the tendencies and the bias of these officiating crews, that means that the NFL has a problem with their officiating. And I don't know if it can be corrected, because you got to think to yourself, if these guys are at this elite level, at the highest level of football, they had to have one time be a fan, right? You would think logically that makes sense, or they played the game. So depending on what region they came from the United States, they probably have an allegiance to that team, maybe within that region. Unless you're someone like James, where you grew up in Texas, but you're a Packer fan. Long story short, you have a bias or you have a favorite team you grew up with. And that's, to me, seems to be a problem, right? Should we go ahead, do this? I got a question for you.
I think a lot of with the refereeing, I think a lot of times it's the way the season starts off, because the NFL wants to pick on certain things, and I think they come out flag heavy with it.
Right.
And then I think that mid-season they kind of back off on it. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks they're going to back off and they're going to start to let these guys play a little bit. But it just seems like that right now. They're trying to whatever Goodell told them to work on or whatever to look at. That they like to go out there and just be extra happy about it and throw a bunch of flags.
But why can't
it seems like they do this every year?
My question is, why can't there just be consistency league wide? Why does there have to be each crew has their different tendencies per game that they're officiating? So here's my question. Because these officiatings potentially have a bias towards one team or another, or tendencies that they call, maybe depending on, maybe if they were, a lineman, they're going to be a little, if they're a D lineman, maybe they're a little offensive holding heavy on penalties. If they were maybe a receiver and they see DBs holding receivers because they play DB, maybe they're going to be have more tendency to call that penalty. My question is, when is it going to be the time we start getting like AI or technology in to like really help us with these calls? Or is the human ego going to be always in play because nobody wants to be wrong, especially if you're 50 plus in the NFL calling these games and you think you're right because you've studied the game, you're a part of the game. Why can't we have more technology incorporated to allow us to have the right outcome game in and game out, rather than having someone's objective bias lead the game to have maybe a different outcome?
Well, once I think you get into the you call it the AI perspective, all this stuff, especially like in baseball, they're talking about going to the computer ump or whatever like that. Then you start to lose a lot of the general the game, because now if you're using the computer to call throw flags, they can throw a flag on holding about every down.
But wouldn't that reduce people? Wouldn't that make more emphasis on the technique for the O-line? Wouldn't that make things a little bit more fair? Now, I get it. The NFL has skewed the rules to be more in more favor of the deep ball and the quarterback protection and the offense to score more points because that generates more eyes. But at the same time, it's like, if we could write a computer program to throw a flag, I'm pretty sure they could write the computer program to put a tendency. And well, here we go. Do we need the AI? Those are my questions. Is like, how can we use technology to make the game more efficient and take the objectivity out of the human so that they don't control an outcome? And I don't know how we do that.
What you're saying, but I'm almost the opposite way, where I'm going to live with the human error. It's going to be something, that I complain about for years to come after a ref blows a call. But, I mean, for these dudes to be doing stuff at game speed is really, really difficult to be out there doing it. So, I mean, it's tough to do it. I know it's easy for us because we get to replay and this angle and that kind of stuff. But, I mean, to me, it kills the game when I sit there and I got to wait 15 minutes for them to get a call that seems pretty easy.
So how come we can't use that same technology we have for the officials? Doesn't it make sense to do that? Like, give the officials all the angles that we have.
I really don't know why it takes them so long to figure it out, because it seems like it's such a simple play. It's like, oh, you see it, but it seems like it still takes them 10, 15 minutes. I don't know if they're looking at the clock. I don't know if they're looking at the spot of the ball. I don't know why it takes them so long.
Because they don't want to be wrong, Wes. It's because they got the egos and they don't want to be wrong. That's what it seems. That's the only thing. That's the only logical deduction I can put there is like, I'm so-and-so of so-and-so, and these are my accomplishments. I have all these accolades. And it's like, oh, I saw what I saw. I know what I saw. It was this. And it's like, well, obviously you didn't, because we have all this technology that's saying that was not PI, but the way the rule is written. But you're still saying it is because, I don't know, because you said it. That's why I think we should have more technology.
Go back and pick up on a lot of the stuff. What in the world? Come on.
What happened?
Oh, this stupid thing flashed up.
Well, we can still see you.
Can you?
Yeah, you're still good.
This Adobe thing flashed up. But anyway, I think a lot of times they can go back and find stuff, but they still skip over it. You know, they see that they messed up, but they're not going to go back and fix it. That's why growing up, coaches were always like, "There's no point in you going to argue with that ref about that play. He's not going to change his mind. He's already called it.
Right,
Even if he might be wrong." But he's not going to let you know that he's wrong, and he's not going to change that call.
Right, but if you work that ref enough and he starts to see that you're calling him on his bullshit, the future call may not be made. So it's okay, I think, to work a ref as long as you're being like respectful about it. It's like, hey, that call that you made back there was just total bullshit. I think we both know that. He may say, "Oh, what do you give me a hard time for?" It's like, I'm not just give you my opinion. I go, maybe we can all do better next time, right? Just keep it moving.
Yeah, I had to work on doing it respectfully. I didn't do it so respectfully.
Oh man, it's just when you that's what I like to tell people about competitors is like, look, you got males going out there and literally competing against other males where testosterone is just being raging through everybody's body, and then you want to be Mr. Nice Guy. Like some people can't turn that off just in a heartbeat, and it's like, oh, we're going to have these two dudes and we're going to throw them in a cage. And then we're going to expect one guy to stop literally killing the other human when somebody blows a buzzer. That to me is mind blowing. Or this 350-pound offensive lineman is going to literally stop maneuvering and pushing another human that's 300 pounds around because somebody blew a whistle. When he's literally angry, like we don't know what beef's been going on, and you expect these two massive alpha male humans who can move other massive humans to just stop when someone blows a whistle. You got to be out of your flipping mind.
And you don't know what those dudes are saying in between plays.
Exactly.
He might be chirping and saying some stuff, because I know myself. I said some odd things, to get into somebody's head. So, and they might finally get that chance to get a good lick on somebody. They're going to take it. And so, that's why everybody made that big deal about Richard Sherman. We were talking about him earlier when he was talking to Aaron Andrews right after that game. And it was like, you just caught Richard Sherman after this big game. He'd been chirping the whole time. His adrenaline is pumping. And you want to get him right after the game. He hadn't even barely taken his helmet off. And you want him to calm down and talk real nice to the little white lady? No, man, come on.
You better take that somewhere else. Hey, let me tell you something. If Sherman's getting that animated and you got 60 whatever year old Nick Saban having the same kind of incident, maybe it's not the man on this side. I don't know. Maybe it's somebody else. Because something in this equation just ain't right. The variable seems to be constant. The difference is, just saying.
I'm definitely not pulling Saban from a game right after he lost. No, I don't want to talk to him.
Or at half when they played shitty? Hell no.
I don't know.
Hey,
he ain't got nothing to say to you.
Hey, did you see Christina Pink yesterday on the broadcast?
I missed it.
Yeah, you want to go back and watch that. I'm just gonna say. Oh, 8:35 after the first segment. That's the Dallas Cowboys segment. Quick break. Detroit 17, Green Bay 14. Looking tight in Green Bay. Producer James, how you feeling over there?
I'm feeling good.
You still confident?
I'm confident.
All right. That tells me something good. That means he's watching the game. So he must like the way things are trending.
Man Bun's gonna make that comeback.
I'm gonna have to agree. Dude. He needs to get rid of that, dude.
The man bun.
The man bun.
Rodgers. Cut that
Now you're off the wagon.
Hey, I wasn't supporting it. Like I was like, whatever. Like I'm not there to watch his hair. I'm there to watch him play football.
Maybe he's doing it in stages. Last week he cut off the Nicolas Cage 6 day beard. He shaved that off. Maybe the next thing to go if they take an L the night is he goes with the buzz cut. I don't know. I don't know. Where's that song at? I don't know. Okay, let's get out of here before we do that. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Leave comments in the comments below what your favorite game from this weekend is. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit of college football. Big matchup this upcoming week between the number 7th ranked Texas A&M Aggies taking on. Are they going to be in Fayetteville? The number 16 Arkansas Razorbacks. Is that in Fayetteville?
No, it's going to be in Jerry's world.
Oh, Southwest Classic. Okay. Jerry make a little bit more money.
Hey, thoughts on that little post-game celebration picture that was taken with Conor McGregor, Post Malone amongst.
Was that really last night, or was that from like a long time ago?
Yeah, no, that was last night.
Seemed like it was last night.
It was last night. We ain't got to talk about that. Anyway, hey,
well,
you can talk about Jerry drafting or anything like that, but Jerry going to make his money. So that's why he got that A&M Arkansas game. Yes, that game, that was the picture last night, Post Malone and that goofus Conor McGregor.
Listen, you can make as much money as you want, but you can't buy yourself out of inbred.
Oh, man.
You just can't.
I don't know why the Cowboys always get the weirdest fans. Another person I don't like is Post Malone. I can't stand.
Hey, Posty, all right, but he a little bit,
And then Connor just never shuts up. It's just, I mean, I get it. Fighters are fighters, and they got these big egos and all that kind of stuff. But
I think Connor's just marketing. I think that's what Connor That's how he markets. That's what I think is going on.
So.
I don't know. All right, when we come back, talk a little bit more about that college foosball. Appreciate y'all watching. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show, getting things back into the groove. Before we do that, anybody watch anything cool this weekend? What y'all do this weekend? You just work, just chill? What happened? I know you just worked.
Yeah, I just watched a lot of sports, and I had to drive the boss around a lot, so I didn't watch anything cool. But man, I want to say R.I.P. to Crackhead Ezel, man, on Friday, dog. Man,
his name was
55
Anthony.
Years old.
Anthony what?
Anthony Johnson.
Anthony Johnson, man. Yeah, man, that was rough when I kind of saw that pop up. I saw it on your timeline on Facebook, and then I, of course, went to go see what was going on with the story. And whenever I see like a celebrity pass, I'm like, what's the cause of death? Like, and maybe we know, maybe we don't know. And so here they haven't made public what the cause of death was, but man, just got
a few good ones in the last couple of weeks, man.
Yeah, just thoughts and prayers. To
Omar
the
from the Wire.
Yep.
Norm Macdonald. And now, Crackhead Ezel.
They say death comes in threes, man. There's three right there. Oh, you ever heard that before?
I have.
Oh yeah, I heard it.
I was like, maybe it's a brown folk thing, but I don't know, man. R.I.P. to the ones we have especially lost in 2021, and that's for everybody, man. It doesn't matter, where you come from, what you look like. Just it's a sad thing whenever someone's just not here anymore. So definitely want to thoughts and prayers, the condolences to the families out there. So, but in brighter news, Wes, what game did you watch this weekend? What college game stuck out to you the most?
Oh man, it was so much. But what stuck out to me the most, in general, was that there's no heavyweights right now.
What?
Even Alabama had their problems with Florida, but I mean, you look at it. You look at Alabama. Alabama's Alabama, but Clemson ain't Clemson.
Nope. DJ Ungalalele ain't it, bro. They're waiting for that bad man in Westlake to go out there, Death Valley. That man, Cade Klubnik in Westlake, just wait. He's going to beat DJ for that starting job next year. I promise you.
Oklahoma ain't Oklahoma.
Oklahoma is suspect as hell. Yeah, I believe that. Look, man, everybody was hyping up Spencer Ratliff to be like the next big quarterback. And, dude, he just, to me, does not – he doesn't have what Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield had Oakland. They're not killers. Like, Spencer's not a killer. Kyler Murray, he grew up a little bit. Baker, he's got that killer mode. But the other ones, Spencer don't have it.
Plus, after seeing this QB1, man, I just kind of want to hit Spencer Rattler in the face. I know I shouldn't be hitting children in the face.
He ain't a child, man. He's a man. He ain't a child.
All right, well, fine. I want to hit that dude in the face. If you listen to him talk, you'd be like, man, shut the fuck up.
You should tell him that.
But
he only like 6'1". You got this.
Oh no, I could take it. I don't want nobody getting mad because I'm hitting children. But he's a grown man.
Nah, so. he grown man. He about to be making millions. He's a grown man. He's fine. There ain't nothing wrong.
He's annoying. But like I said, I just usually by now you see like, all right, well, these are the top two teams. We just gotta wait for them to finish the season. Right now, I don't know if you really see that because who are the top teams you think right now? I guess you can say Alabama, but
yeah, you got to put Alabama up there. I think Florida always plays them really tough. I think Dan Mullen has a really good. I think he's got a really good mix. He's getting better. Like he's getting closer to Nick Saban's level. He's not there yet, but they have a great front four at Florida, man. They recruit very well at Florida for the front D linemen. I think that's what gave Bryce Young a lot of problems in that game. They won't ever. I don't think they're going to face another team that strong until they've played Texas A&M, not Texas State. I don't even want to talk about that game. Until they face Texas A&M, that's going to be the next best front four that Alabama plays.
I mean, Texas A&M ain't looking like they're not looking that dominant.
Well, here's the thing. So if Haynes King doesn't get hurt, A&M's a legit shot. They got a legit shot, but Haynes King's out. And now they got Zach Calzada in the mix. And Zach Calzada against Colorado, he didn't have any confidence. He looked horrible. I watched the game. I'm like, A&M's not going to have a shot against Arkansas if this is the way this dude's going to play when they go to Jerry World to get this game on. The next thing is they go play New Mexico. Texas A&M does, and we're again. I get it. It's New Mexico, but Calzada looked strong. The running game looked better, but the one thing that does not look good is the right side of that offensive line for A&M. That's where Arkansas is going to attack. And the one thing I know about Arkansas from when they played Texas was the offensive line and the defensive line are some bad mothers. Those dudes will get after your ass.
I like my boy Ridgeway on defense.
Those dudes will get after your ass, and so it's going to be a long day for that right tackle and right guard for A&M. And so those special or those the skill players, they better be ready to get to work, especially the tight ends. A&M's got a great tight end in Weiderweimer. He's going to need to stay in on pass protection. And Isaiah Spiller, the running back, he needs to be able to pick up blitzing linebackers or DNs if they're going to be playing games on the line of scrimmage so that Calzada just doesn't get hurt. If Calzada stays calm, the running game is intact, it's going to be a heck of a game, but it's a pick-em, man. I think Arkansas is a very strong team. They have a great quarterback. The offensive, defensive lines are I think we can call them elite. The skill players probably not as much, but quarterback play good, offensive line, defensive line play elite, and it'll be determined. I think going into Saturday's game, if A&M wins, they won the turnover battle. If Arkansas wins, they won the turnover battle. And I think that's just where it is. It's a pick-em, man. What do you think?
Like I said, if Arkansas comes out and plays like they did against Texas and they control the line of scrimmage like they did against Texas, I think Arkansas definitely win the game. But that being said, if Arkansas is forced to throw the ball and not play the way they did against Texas, then I think A&M wins a close game. Right. But, that because then you're making Arkansas play something that they don't know how to do. Making Arkansas throw the ball, that's not something they want to do. They want to throw it maybe 15 to 20 times a game, maybe.
Yeah, they want to use the run to set up that pass.
Yeah. So hopefully they can run the shit out of the ball, man.
I'm looking forward to that, and I want to see how A&M kind of responds against a solid quality team. Like, I don't think Colorado was that all great, but they literally came to punch A&M in the mouth after they took out Haynes King, and Calzada it took Calzada like literally 2 quarters to figure it out. But at the same time, producer James is about to get really excited. At the same time, A&M needs to be able to like pretty much play a whole game collectively, because before they know it, Alabama's going to be knocking on the door in Kyle Field. And so I think that's going to be the game that really gets people. I think it's going to it's either going to separate Alabama from the rest of the crowd, or A&M may take the leap that they've been waiting to take, even by extending Jimbo Fisher to now make $9 million a year left on. He's making $9 million a year for the rest of his contract. So he's making Saban money, but it's like, dude, you got to win. You got to win the West. You got to go play for a national championship. Being left out in the cold last year, I think, didn't resonate too well with a lot of A&M fans. And so now this is the time. It's like, if you want to get ready for Alabama, you have to beat Arkansas. And you got to beat them convincingly. But if you don't, and you expect Alabama to come in here and like maybe take you lightly or maybe underestimate you, you got another thing coming, man, because they know what it's like to be in a dogfight. Just ask Florida. They're gonna be coming in there to take care of business. Nick Saban doesn't like to be embarrassed like that. Producer James, you got any updates for us?
Aaron Rodgers looked like a 20 something touch yard pass down the middle to Robert Tonyan.
Tunyon, okay.
Yeah. Looked like a dart there.
Devontae Adams used to get a touchdown here. Anybody else who has scored for Detroit?
I don't pay attention to those guys.
Well, you don't have it up right there in front of you?
No, I can.
Okay.
No, I'm. Once I realized that you also are keeping an eye on the game, and I'm behind.
Well, I don't have the box score in front of me. That's what I was kind of curious. But anyways, let's get into a break real quick. When we come back, we'll end it up with a little bit of UFC talk. Big fight week, UFC 266. It is a stacked card. 2 world championships on the line, and a return of the great Nick Diaz. When we come back, we'll get into that. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show. Let's hop into it. The big fight card this weekend, UFC 266, led by Ortega versus or Volkanovski versus Ortega, since Volkanovski does have the belt. The Australian taking on the what is his nickname? What's Ortega's nickname?
T-City.
T-City, yeah, because everybody can get it. I don't know if that's true or not, but dude, I literally spent like 2 hours last night watching all the
Getting hyped up.
the hype videos. But dude, it was like so late. It was like 2 a.m. before I got done, and I like spilled my drink on me, so I was like pissed off. I was like, God damn, I was all pissed off. Anyways, it was pretty cool to see that. I'm gonna watch the Embed tonight, the first one. They're showcasing Shevchenko right there in the. She's talking to Moreno, bro. I was like, hey Moreno, hey, I know you're champion, brother, but keep it moving, bro. Keep it moving. She too much for you, young man. You ain't in that weight class, son. You ain't in that weight class. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that fight this weekend. Producer James, big UFC fan. We'll get his thoughts and then we'll hop it over to Wes. So Producer James, what is your outlook for this weekend? No predictions, but what's your expectations for the fight? Do you think we're going to have knockouts, submissions? What's it looking like from you?
First of all, I'm super excited for the return.
I believe it.
Personally, he's my favorite Diaz brother. You know,
He's pretty cerebral, isn't he? Like he's like low key cerebral.
So did you watch that whole build-up video?
Yes.
The
return of Nick Diaz?
Yeah, the countdown that they put together. Like how great is that, dude? Like how Robbie Lawler was so hyped. I mean, he wasn't hyped up. He was who he was. Like he was knocking people out, so energetic. And then comes Diaz. He's in there, and you know.
But even before that, when he was in ECW, whenever he was in those lower productions, like when he was at the bottom, making his whole way up, Nick Diaz was like a different cat, being taught by what Gracie was it?
Caesar Gracie.
Caesar
I believe.
Gracie, yeah.
Yeah.
And Gracie and Caesar was saying, "I only have 2 black belts I've ever given, and Nick has one of them."
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be good. Stacked card from top to bottom, so it's one of those you just get the fridge full, and you know.
Fridge full of what? Hashtag no ad.
I'm going with Dos
Cervezas?
Equis. Yeah.
Cervezas. Hashtag no ad. Hey, if y'all would love to talk about sponsorship, we'd be happy to talk about the world's most interesting cerveza in your demographic. But anything else? Like, what do you think the fight is going to be like with Nick and Robbie? Do you think it's going to be like it was literally 20 years ago, or do we get to see something different?
Man, I hope it is because. But if I'm being honest with myself, I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Because
What's your honest opinion?
This is 17 years later that we're talking about, and Robbie's has been out for I want to say over a year,
and he's 40, right?
Robbie Lawler?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can verify
I think he's
that.
40, and I think Nick is 38. I'm pretty sure. I kept up with it last night. Nick is my age. I'll be 38 in a few months.
But let me see.
Don't be whistling like you young buck over here, man.
He's 39.
He's 39.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
don't let this man fool you, Wes. You over here like he's 30, like he's 28 or something. Son, you halfway there.
I figure I'm the oldest on the show, so
but you look younger than both of us.
We just got to see who shows up. A lot of people, you know, believe in ring rust. You know, he ain't been in there in what 5-6 years.
Robbie or Nick?
Nick.
But you telling me Nick ain't training?
Yeah, So with that being said, like he is training, and of course, who am I? I'm never a fighter, but I feel like watching fighting, as long as I've been watching it, that there's just nothing that replicates getting in there in front of the crowd and actually doing it. You know what I mean? Like you can do the sparring,
doing it. You
can stay in shape as the Diaz brothers are known for staying in shape. So that's a plus, but I'm looking forward to it.
You think Nick was doing like some underground, like Lionheart, events, like underworld kind of fighting events?
What do you mean? Oh, like
because you got to remember, man, still got to get paid. And look, I'm sorry, Nick. You can sit here and talk to me all damn day long. Oh, I'm teaching the kids. I'm training the kids. Bullshit. Susie and Sally and John and Ringo and Caesar are not paying the bills like they should be. You had to been making some money somewhere else. And I mean, doesn't it make sense to make money with what you're good at?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it just makes a whole lot more sense. Hey, Wes, you think the Nick Diaz is over there underground fighting? Would you put it past him?
Dude, with that stuff, there's no telling what's going on, man. But I thought a lot of those dudes, don't they get money making, celebrity door guys and things like that?
I don't think Nick is a
I can't
cameo
tell.
kind of guy. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, didn't he got some Hollywood roles, didn't he?
I don't think so.
Am I thinking of the right guy?
That's Michael Jai
Just
White.
Nick Diaz got like at least one or two little spots. I'm not saying they were big roles. I don't even know if he got to talk in them, but I could have sworn the old big head Nick Diaz had like some little roles.
No, that's Nate. Nate's the one who got the big head. I don't mind saying that either.
Okay.
I was like, look, Nate, I know you can whip my ass, but look, my fat ass got a big head too. It ain't like I don't. But yeah, man, there's also big championships on the belt too. Like when you watch UFC, like more as a casual fan, when you see UFC kind of, at the bar, or if you're at the house at a house party, are you looking for the knockout? Is that what you're anticipating? Or are you just looking for like, a big victory?
Yeah, of course. You're looking for the spectacular knockout. It's just like, it's almost like in anything that you're not really a big fan of, is that you just want to see the spectacular. Like, I'm not looking for the technical and, look at that great takedown, that kind of stuff. Nah, man, you want to see the big knockout. Just like when you watch NASCAR, you don't want to sit there and watch them go in and around the laps. You want to see the big crash.
Hey, do you get excited? Do you get excited when you see like, and this is more like with the female fighting, because I think that's their skill level still growing. But like when you get someone in like an arm and they're twisted all up, do you look away or you're like, let me see a break?
No, I definitely watch it and see if there's going to be a break. I'm one of those people. I'll watch that. Especially like when you see those horrible injuries and the dude's leg is just dangling. I'll watch it a few times, even though it's still like I can feel it, like I feel it in my bones, but I can't look away. Like I hate horror movies, but if you put one on and they start slashing up people and all that kind of, I'm gonna sit there and watch it. I'm gonna regret it later, but I'm still gonna watch it.
You be having bad memes or what? Like you can't go to bed and you start thinking about the horror movie? I'm a horrible, like you don't want to sleep next to me because I don't want to sleep next to you either way.
I don't mean it like that. I'm just saying you don't want to be the person to come wake me up. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, facts.
Because I'm a light sleeper.
Oh, really?
Any kind of movement, I just start swinging.
Ooh.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you just start blasting. That's what I would do.
Man.
That's what I would do.
I don't have any gun power. But I just basically
just these right here, right, Wes?
I can feel your presence as soon as you like even creep open that door. And the closer you get, you can be as quiet as you think you're gonna be. I can feel it, dude. And then like once you get close enough, I just start swinging. And yeah, I'm a very light sleeper.
You don't got like a bat or a club next to the bed just to like.
Nah, man, I'm just gonna try to put these hands on you, man, and try to choke you out.
Put these mitts on you. I bet you got like a heavy hands too, right?
Nah, man, I got light hands. I got them light basketball baller hands, man. Very smooth.
Wes, you're 6'6", bro. You got hands probably the size. You probably got 10 and a half inch hands. That's a blow to shit if you ain't got no heavy hands.
They got some small hands. They got little dainty hands.
You full of it. You're just full of nonsense. Producer James, what's the expectation? Are we gonna have new champs this weekend? Valentina ain't losing, so I'm really asking about Ortega. Is T-City walking away with the belt?
No, I got Volkanovski.
Really?
I got Volkanovski.
You're taking the short guy.
I got Volkanovski. Yeah.
Damn.
He really impressed me.
Wait. Why you gotta say it like that?
Because he's really short.
I'm just saying, it just seemed like you're trying to lead to something.
What? He's short. Volkanovski.
Are you trying to lead to that James is favoring the short guy?
No, because James like knows like the techniques, and he's like when I talk about football, I talk like from a technation. When James talks about UFC, he talks about.
I was beat up because apparently I favored the tall people, and now I just want to make sure that are we talking about James having favoritism to the short guy?
I know my guys over here trying to stir the pot, but like the only time James gets like defensive is when you start talking about the Packers. So like he knows like my button for him is the Packers, but for you apparently it's like short man syndrome. I think he's like not letting you. He ain't gonna let it get under his skin right now because the Packers are winning. So he's in a good mood.
The Packers up now?
Yeah, they're up now. But so getting back to it, what do you see? Like, why do you think Volkanovski is? Why do you think he's going to pull it out?
He really impressed me against Max Holloway when they fought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, man. Yeah, I forgot who else. There was another fight. I forgot who else it was, but man, it's gonna be a good fight. I'm not totally counting out Ortega. I feel like he can walk away with it, but if I had to, I'm putting some money on him. Going Volkanovski.
All right.
Yeah.
I might have to talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, fellas. Tomorrow, everybody out there will be off tomorrow. Producer James has a client that he wants to have on his show is only available tomorrow, so we're gonna be a little more flexible to help him out. Wes, if you're available Wednesday, we'd love to have you back. If you can't, we totally understand. Don't want to put you on the spot. We'll talk about it afterwards. But until then, before we go, Producer James, you want to leave the people with anything? Go Cheeseheads.
Go Pack, go.
Wes, what do you want to leave the people with before we go?
Oh, I just want to say, hey, we've been losing some celebrities. So, I mean,
Yes.
also probably losing people. So if somebody there's out there that you haven't talked to in a while, just send them a, hey, I love you, I miss you, or whatever, because you never know, that might make that person's day.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's all I want to say.
September is National Suicide Awareness Month. We'll have some information in the description. If you need help, there's help out there. If you have a friend, check in with your buddy. I checked in with my buddy today that I haven't seen. He knows when football season comes, we're not going to probably see each other. So I reached out to him. I told him about the wonderful pedestrians that we had in Lockhart who nearly ran me over. And, just wanted to give him a piece of my mind. Listen, folks, don't drink and drive. Get an Uber, get a taxi. You don't want to potentially hurt an innocent person like me whenever you're trying to back out of your parking spot. So that's my PSA for the day. And until then, we'll see y'all Wednesday. But before that, Producer James, how can they check out your show?
Tomorrow on YouTube, Dark Side of the Mic, Facebook, Dark Side of the Mic. Look for a little black and white logo that has my cartoonish drawing there, along with Austin. Austin won't be there, but we got him replaced for tomorrow.
Dark Side. All right, we'll see y'all then. We'll see y'all Wednesday for the Paul Rodriguez Show. Until then, adios.
To Spotify, search Paul Rodriguez Show. You'll see the little logo pop up. Give us a follow, turn notifications on. That way you don't miss any show that is uploaded, which